can't believe I'm doing this. Sorry for how I sound while I have the gaming headset. Long story short, I've been holding on to this info since November of 2021. My original intent was to give what I found to someone I can trust. However, I'm a total nobody. I'm new and I bit into more than I can chew. Everything I found has been bugging me, mostly because it doesn't make any sense. Forgive me if what I do is a bit unorthodox. It's been years, but I digress. I don't want to do drama. However, if I'm going to, might as well try to stand out. So why am I here? And yet, I know I'm very late. Because I used to watch Luke and Junkie's content. I don't recall him ever talking about a GoFundMe. Or Luke for that matter. On February 28th, 2021, onlyjesp made a video on prisonmate Luke where they mentioned and showed a GoFundMe that Luke was helping. Junkie then accused them of doxing. First, let's go over what they said.
And now, here's where I internally sigh. Luke talked about earlier how Harley milked the Unresolved Drama and used people for attention, which is fine. I'm also not a fan of how his Hopeless Peaches video aged like room temperature salad, well that's whatever. But, regarding Antunes and Cryotic, Luke, these are predators. Can you not see that he's spreading awareness under your name? You are not one to talk when it comes to milking content. By your own logic, that means also that you milked the Lexit situation. Like 4 videos without links to victims to reach out to law enforcement. Really? He was your friend as well. Like, come on, man. I already called out your shit at the beginning of the situation. Like, seriously, you're no better! There is nothing wrong, again, with helping victims of abuse. But you pointed out how Harley is clout chasing when you have done the same, including doing the shit you pulled at Braxton earlier, making you, by your own logic, look no better. Hell, you still don't have any link to organizations gathered against abusers or harassers of children to this day.
There's more context and their video will be linked down below. I did talk to them for more info. They did say the name of the person being buried and did show the GoFundMe uncensored. Now let's go over Junkie's tweets.
The reason why I blocked you was because of the information you provided in your video was sensitive and reckless. I'm happy to hear that you have since patched that out, but I do not trust you anymore, and that is why I want nothing to do with you. I want nothing to do with you. You literally went out of your way to ridicule Luke over a effing donation pool that he asked me and a couple of my own friends to share around. Not to mention that the segment you showed shared public information, including names and other sorts of private info. They literally did not want to be involved in this. I am telling you right now that I do not want anything to do with you. What you did was outright vile and I never wish to speak to you again. End of discussion. This has been a repeated behavior that I have witnessed. You have hurt people through your negligence, have actively insulted people, and indulged in rumor mills as fact rather than opinion. Hell, the video you did about Toasty Vanilla was extremely spiteful. One of the main comments I showed in my collaboration with Phantom Heart was this. Again, happy to hear that you have since went back on this and deleted it, but again, repeated behavior. Also, we have been talking to each other for under a year. We have not been friends for years, We made a video together in September and met shortly before that in August discussing our collaboration. Below is our conversation we had when we did our video together on Kit the Soulless. Also, this is the full context of that DM. I already preemptively blocked her everywhere. She used an alt account to specifically reach out to me to ask why I blocked her. I apologize for being angry, I admit that. However, I don't think going public with this was necessary. I don't care about the Luke situation. My whole thing was the fact that Jesp shared personal info in their video regarding someone's funeral. Something that I helped share around. I don't like Luke's content or how he handles stuff, but Doxxing, accident or not, is where I draw the line. People could use that info on GoFundMe to possibly harass the original poster. You leaked the actual funeral home that's holding the burial and cremating the body. The original organizer even pointed this out and Jesp responded. I didn't make a public announcement on here because there was nothing to announce. But when you came to me on an alt account, I gave you a reason why I was stepping away, nothing more, nothing less.
The last two tweets have very little. The commentator Kamen-kun made a video about the drama on March 8th. The next day, Junkie redacted and apologized for the accusation on Twitter. Now for my thoughts. Everything Junkie said, Junkie, you and Luke would also be guilty of revealing that info. GoFundMe, the site, may be shared. His argument can apply to anyone. If someone posts a GoFundMe on Twitter, and someone else retweets it, are they a doxer? Because when you post a GoFundMe on Twitter, it would show the organizer's name, the title, and whatever is on the GoFundMe. He's constantly changing the type of info. To make it short, names are classified as personal info. However, according to the TOS, although personal, it's also public. Original poster and original organizer is a little bit odd. Mentions Rin leaked info. You can't leak information that's already public. The donation pool comment is something I really don't understand. I did talk to them for more info. They said it was mentioned. I can see what they were trying to do, pointing out Luke's hypocrisy and acknowledge the GoFundMe to show Luke was helping someone. I understand Rin's intent, but the wording and execution are not great. However, accusing someone of doxing because of that is absurd. How can anyone be guilty of that by showing info that others can share, show, and is publicly accessible without any proof of malice? I did try to see if they had the original, but it's gone. And that YouTube comment? I will talk about it, but first, let's go over doxing. Since Junkie redacted the doxing accusation and Kamen-kun debunked it, I'll just make it brief. Doxing is the act of revealing or publishing personally identifiable info with malicious intent. If the info is publicly accessible, then it's generally not considered doxing because the info is already public. Even if personal information was shown, malice needs to be proven. Otherwise, any instance of personal information that's already public being shown or shared, whether it's on Twitter, YouTube, or any other platform, can be considered doxing, at least by Junkie's logic. As for malice, as far as I can tell, there's no call to action or encouragement. Rin even has a disclaimer. So no malice and the information is publicly accessible, then it's not a dox. Now, let me talk about leaks for a brief moment. Junkie also accused Rin of leaking a funeral home address. So I did some research into the definition of a leak, and I got 3. From Wikipedia, it's the unauthorized release of information. From WiseGeek, it's information that is not yet ready for the public, suddenly made available on one or more websites. From the NIST, the intentional or unintentional release of information to an untrusted environment. I'm going to stick with Wikipedia. Now, let me give you 2 reasons why this is not a leak. 1. As I said, you can't leak information that's already public because anyone can access it. If anyone can find the info by using Google or it's on their site, then it's not a leak. And 2, by being public, no one really needs permission to show or share it. Otherwise, anyone showing or sharing that info would be just as guilty of leaking that info. Next, let me go over something confusing. I know this is nitpicking, but what's the difference between original poster and original organizer? Reading that was kind of confusing. Why append original? It makes it seem as if they're two different people. What does Junkie mean by original? Why emphasize original on both poster and organizer? Are they the same person or not? Odd wording aside, only Luke and presumably Junkie would know who they are. This is something I would like to verify with Luke. Does Junkie know the organizer or not? Or is it the person who made the comment the organizer? Since Kamen-kun also went over Junkie's misuse over the type of info, I'll link his video down below. He deserves recognition and support for it. The info in that video really helped. As I said at the very beginning, I don't recall Junkie, or even Luke for that matter, helping a GoFundMe. So I decided to do some digging. According to Junkie's DMs and tweets, Luke asked him and his friends to help share the GoFundMe. So let me get right to the point. There's no proof. I used every keyword that a person would use to help a GoFundMe, and I found absolutely nothing. Then I checked his videos, even the ones that were deleted, and same thing. He never talked about it. I even checked his descriptions, and same thing. No link, no mentions. Since I don't know whom he's referring to as friends, I'll have to leave that be for now. But trust me, it's very odd. Here's the part where things get crazy. Luke. Before I start, I want to make it absolutely clear. This part is not made to bash, minimize, or criticize what Luke did. I'm not accusing him of anything. Helping a GoFundMe is a good thing. I'm just stating what I found. I have to acknowledge this because of one piece of data, the GoFundMe. Now, let's talk about Luke. I looked at all of Prisonmate Luke's videos. From the earliest I can find him helping on February 6th till his last one at the end of May. About 4 hours of his content, I saw it all. However, I have to omit one video. It was not made by Luke. So why did I watch 4 hours of his content? Because when I saw Rin's video, the first thing I did was check the GoFundMe. It was very odd considering everything Junkie had said. Because based on the information I found, there were only 2 donations between February and November of 2021. Next, I checked his Twitter. I found nothing. Same thing as Junkie. Then I checked his videos. He only put it in the description, above his channel members. He never talked about it. However, throughout all of his videos, only one stood out. That video is the first one. The difference? He put it at the top of his description, along with the organizer's name. I'm just acknowledging it, please leave them alone. And Kamen-kun, thank you. Your video was what I needed. Remember Junkie's claim. Luke asked him and his friends to share the GoFundMe. As I said, based on the info I could find, there were 2 donations between February and November of 2021. Thanks to Kamen-kun, I managed to get a date. I asked him when he got the image. He told me March 3rd. That would make it February 7th, which would put it around Luke's first video. So I went to see if Junkie made a video around that time. And he did. As I said, the GoFundMe was not mentioned. Then I checked the one he made about the Toby drama in January. Same thing. The next video before that was in September. Even so, remember, he said Luke asked him for help. The earliest I found Luke helping was at the beginning of February. I checked everything, nothing. The only times where I could find Junkie mentioning it was when he cancelled Rin at the end of February, and when he redacted the Doxxing accusation one day after Kamen-kun's video. Junkie's claim is unsubstantiated. What the hell is going on here? Let's take Junkie as gospel. Then why didn't Luke talk about it? Nothing on Twitter and there's no video. Junkie claimed that the organizer called Rin out. A reaction like that from the organizer and Junkie, Luke ought to have heard it. But then again, Luke never talked about it. Something like that would have been much bigger. Next, there's Junkie's claim of working with him. No proof whatsoever. If Junkie was helping, nothing is showing me that he is or did. That includes whoever he's referring to as friends here. The data, along with no proof of him supporting the GoFundMe, tells me either he lied or him and his friends are not doing their job. But I think he lied. Let me explain why. He mentions his friends are helping, but where are they? Who are they? How can there be multiple people not helping it? There ought to be proof. If it's a lie, then why turn an absolute truth into a half-truth? How can there be only 2 donations from a group of, at minimum, 4? Remember, the only times I could find Junkie talking about it was at the end of February to cancel Rin and the beginning of March, his apology. He never mentioned it after that. And throughout everything, I can't find any proof of him helping. Why delete a tweet or video to help a GoFundMe and not mention it in a new one? This has to be the dumbest cancellation ever. No one checks his claim, and the proof he gives is dubious.
How dare you even dox almost everyone involved? Do you not know privacy? Watch the video, you will see at the 30-minute mark. This girl literally doxed, and Luke is a lying manipulator.
Why would the organizer call Luke a lying manipulator, but still work with them as if nothing is going on? A whole group of people can't just be doing nothing. Thus, based on everything or lack thereof, I believe Junkie is lying. There's no proof of him or whoever he's referring to as friends helped. If he lied, then how would he know the organizer? For almost a year, I've been trying to contact Luke for answers, namely for 3 reasons. 1, I don't want anything bad to happen to him. 2, I don't want to reignite the drama. And 3, I want to know the truth. Nothing here makes any sense. I'm just angry no one other than Kamen-kun looked into this, and that no one called out Junkie sooner. I want to thank everyone who helped. I just hope this was good enough. Rin, your case drove me insane. And I wish I'd shown up sooner so I could talk to Luke. That's one of the big reasons why I delayed this for so long. I'm going to leave some info down below. Rin, you're not a doxer, and I'm sorry that happened to you. So everyone, you decide. What do you think? I would love to hear your opinion. Before I end, let me try something. I gave up art years ago. This has been Mute. Stay safe.
Goodbye.